Is February the 9th, 2023, 9:40 a.m. PST. Today, some of my best trading, and we're going to talk about it. Only two trades. Um, this one I took 5 hour, and this one I took full 10 hour. Actually, I beg your pardon. I took about this one actually was about 2.5 hour. Beg your pardon. So 2.5 hour and a 10 hour. Okay, so on the day 12.5 hour. Let's talk about it. Let's go. All right, high time frame. Here we are. Woke up to seeing this kind of situation. Now, this is my 1 hour time frame. What I was seeing here was this sharp up, sharp down, and I was thinking that this was kind of a replica of what we were seeing here, this sharp up, sharp down kind of thing. We were just initiating lower prices from here. So when we see price come back into this area, I was expecting a mitigation and then a continuation of lower prices taken out here. That didn't happen. Instead, we got a continuation of price, which is expected. It's BFI. They do whatever they want. Whatever we expect and can see on a chart is typically what doesn't end up happening. The opposite ends up happening. But we did have this zone marked out. So this is the first thing I did today as I see price kind of gathering up here, and I believe it was yeah, maybe 6 a.m. So like around this area here. And I look at my from the high to the low, and I'm looking for my sell primaries. Now this was a kind of a tricky one to spot, but sure enough, on the 1 hour chart, it's a valid sell primary. This one candle in here, this candle right there, this candle ranged, initiated lower prices, breaking structure to the left hand side of our screen. If we look all the way, here's the structure. Broke that structure, then they came back in from this point here, they jumped price up right to here. And if you look close enough, you can see that they actually took price over the high, which was our stacking of liquidity. So that is a sell primary. As soon as it breaks on itself, the primary has formed, and as soon as we take out major structure, it is activated for a reaction. Here was major structure, here was major structure, or you can call this swing structure, swing structure. Here would have been the actual major swing structure, but these are absolutely valid for breaks of structure in this instance. Remember, this is a 1 hour chart, so it has to be relative to the 1 hour screen. So we had this sell zone popped on our screen. Now, as I get to the chart, this is like right here is the black bar here is 6 a.m. Now I'm at my screen ready about just after 7ish today. And so let's move to the lower time frame to our cells so we can see what's going on. So the first thing I see is here's that mitigation, right? So we've had a mitigation, and I'm at the screen somewhere around. It was actually I wasn't available for trading until this was sort of forming. So I was in the screen like deep right around here, or I should say in my lower time frame screen, because I do spend quite a bit of time looking at my high time frame analysis first thing in the morning. And anyway, so this is what I see. I see this as being a potential sell primary. We got a range, an initiation, a break of structure. This range comes in, takes liquidity, breaks on itself, breaks major structure. Okay, so this becomes a sell primary that we can play off of, and that's exactly what you want to be seeing right after a mitigation. So we've had a mitigation, higher time frame mitigation. Now we want to see them build something that's going to push prices in the direction that we think it's going to go. This is exactly it. Range, initiation, break of structure, comes back in, takes all the liquidity, breaks on itself, and breaks structure. Boom. Sell primary is formed. Then you look at the between the B and the C leg, which is right here. So remember, this is the A leg, this is the B leg, and the C leg is right here, right when it breaks the origin of this sell primary. And so then we analyze what happened between B and C. Well, we had this range form. It took liquidity. It was a range that we thought could potentially hold price. So as we see price come back in, I like to see deep mitigations and then initiations away. Why do I like to see them? Because they are the best types of mitigations, in my opinion, for strong movements away. And that's exactly what we got. A deep mitigation, meaning price came up over this high. It was only by a tick or two, but it absolutely came up above it, took the liquidity. It's almost like a retail liquidity grab because retailers always put their stop like literally like just 1 or 2 pips above. And so with spread, that would have taken them out for sure. Even if they had their stop here, it might have taken them out depending on what their spread is. So this is like what we call a retail liquidity grab, also in a deep mitigational area. And then I start observing how price initiates away. Do we create any sell primaries? Yes, no, maybe. And then I analyze those, I look for those. But the most important thing I'm looking for at the moment is my entry modal, which I talked about yesterday, which is where we have these buy primaries form, then turn into an immediate sell primary, and that action right there is basically an initiation phase away is really what it is. It's pushing price into a direction. This happens over and over and over again. This happens on all time frames, and it happens on the 15 second, 5 second, 1 second, 30 seconds, 1 minute. So if you see a 1 minute setup, you can bet your bottom dollar there's likely a 15 second setup inside of that 1 minute. And that's why I like this so much as an entry modal, because when we couple it with our knowledge of primaries, deep mitigations, and then we start to see them pull off this formation that we know it is a reversal basically, or not really a reversal, an initiation away. That's massive to us, and that's exactly how I traded today, and this is exactly how I caught this trade here and how I caught this trade here. So we're going to talk about it. So price is initiating. We can all see price is initiating away. We understand the mitigation. We understand the mitigation, the higher time frame mitigation. We understand that we've had a deep mitigation, that we're likely to be initiating fast and furious away in one direction. So all it is for us, our only mission here is to get involved. So the first thing you want to be doing is looking for a sell primary. Can you see any sell primaries that formed? Remember, range, initiation, break a structure. They come back in, take from the liquidity above, and then break on themselves and then break major structure. That is a sell primary. And for me, I didn't really get to see anything at all other than say 15 second kind of ones that weren't really strong. Nothing on the 1 minute came to mind, or came to sight, I should say, as we were doing that until just now, until just recently, where we've created this new sell primary and now they're initiating prices away. Potentially, or it might turn into a buy primary, right? Who knows? We'll find out. So we're initiating prices away. I can see that I've missed out on an opportunity here, here, and here. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I've missed out on those opportunities. And right around here is when I'm starting to get to the screen. And I do see this happen before my eyes, but it was just a little too rapid for me. I don't think I even had my broker logged in at that time. And so I was unable to catch this trade here, but suffice it to say, there were multiple opportunities to get in. Then price comes down into an area of interest for me. I'm observing all the time as price is moving down, where are we likely to get hung up? So let's see. So as price is moving down here, I'm moving my mouse on the right hand side of the screen, but I'm looking on the left, okay? Because I'm looking to see exactly where we're running into. And now we can see, okay, we've got a buy primary here, we've got a buy primary here, and we got a couple of buy primaries here. And so the absolute moment that I see that this last buy primary has been taken out, and I believe it got taken just by a tick, or maybe it was equal lows, the moment I see it get taken out, I'm thinking to myself, that is a continuation of short prices. I don't think we're going to be bouncing and returning. I think, if anything, this is going to be a high time frame mitigation that's going to push prices lower, breaking major structure. That's what I'm thinking at this point because of everything I've seen. Yes, it's created a big pattern up top here that to push prices down. Yes, it's taken out by primaries, and we're initiating fast and furious away from a deep mitigation. So it's checking all the boxes. Okay, and as we're pushing down, I'm sort of observing like, can we hand over? Can we change this buy primary into a sell primary? Because if we can do that, then we're likely that we're going to be initiating from there as well, and using that one to mitigate off out of and initiate lower prices. So I do see something in here. There's kind of like a sell primary that formed sort of in here, but it didn't tick the boxes, all of the boxes that I look for a sell primary. It was a weak one without the structural breaks, but they did take the liquidity from above this high here, took it, and then initiated away. So that is kind of like a handoff, and I did see that, but I just didn't mark it out because I didn't think about I want to trade off of sell primaries that are confirmed, not off the sell primaries that are potential. Anyway, so I initiated lower prices. Come and bringing up my cells again. We're initiating lower prices, and all the time I'm looking for a buy primary that turns into a sell primary. This one was so fast and furious I couldn't get involved. Okay, but absolutely ticks the box. A buy primary. If we look to the left, we can see we took out this structure here, this low. Excuse me, guys. One second here. Give me 1 second. Okay, apologize about that. Hopes I can clip that out. Okay, so I see we're initiating lower prices, and I see this setup was too fast for me to get involved with. Then I see this happen. Again, we take liquidity, right? From the lows. And I'm thinking to myself, don't forget we've just taken out that last buy primary at this moment in time as well. So I'm really interested in getting short, even though we're at super duper low prices. Let me just clean that up real quick. There it is. Right? Even though I know we've been initiating for a long time, right? And I've missed some opportunities to get 10 hours for sure, and that's weighing on my mind. I know that we are not at our higher time frame point of interest. Here's the higher time frame point of interest. I understand that we're not at that just yet and haven't touched it, but I know that we could be building cores right before the touch of it. So I'm expecting a potential initiating away. But like we just saw on the screen, we just taken out that buy primary. Let me show you again. This one right here. Let's pull it over. So we've just taken it out. And by taking it out, I'm basically saying we'd closed below it. Can you see how it was just a tiny, tiny little bit, but it went below it? Let's get this out. And so it was that gave me insight to keep wanting to short. Yes, we're at lower prices. Yes, we're almost at a bouncing point. We all know that this is a high time frame buy primary down here that we're working our way into, which is where I expect to bounce. We could be creating cores. I then see this happen. A buy primary forms, it breaks on itself. To activate, it'd have to take one of these major structures out, these swing structures. It doesn't, price then comes up. They take the liquidity from here as well, creating a sell primary. We've then got this gap in between buy primary and sell primary, and it's left this gap that I've colored in mauve or purple or whatever color you see it to be on your screen. And it is that which I'm expecting to become wick. And so as I start to see this occur, I'm thinking to myself, well, it wasn't like a fast and furious kind of way out, but it doesn't have to be that either, because I've noticed this. They'll spend a lot of time, and then they'll basically mitigating all out of this area, and then they'll initiate, just like they did here. So I've seen this, and so I thought to myself, well, look, I want to go short. I want to go short right now. I was willing to put my tool and sell here 3 pips maybe. I was willing to do it. And then I thought to myself, well, no, what about if we just flick to a 5 seconds and take, let's just do it. flick to a 5 seconds and look for the same pattern over and over again, which we know comes when they're going to initiate price. So if they're going to initiate price, they're going to do it, right? So here's that first box, the mauve colored one, which is basically my trigger. The moment we break below here, which I consider this here to be the break below, remember these are just wicks, right? Even though, yeah, you've got a close, it's relative to time frames. Remember, wicks do what? They just sharp in, sharp out, right? So I'm looking for this to basically become the wick on a higher time frame. 5 minutes, for example, this will become a wick, right? This will be the body of the candle. And so as I see that initiation away, I'm looking then to see the same formation occur again. And I do get it. Here's my buy primary. Comes in, breaks on itself. It would have to break up here to activate it. The sell primary kicks in. Price comes all the way up to this point here. And then initiates lower prices. Now, I got to show you. I got to tell you something, and this is interesting. At the time, this is how I believe it looked on my chart. Right, I'm going to draw this in here. Right, it looked like this. We pulled down, and you see this spike candle. It spiked to about here, and then initiated away. For me, on my chart at the time. Now I'm looking at it right now. I'm going, what the fuck? Like, why is it? It went above. I have no clue why it's different from what I saw originally, but it is definitely. It's now been printed differently, so they definitely update bars at certain times. Maybe different data collections come through. As a reminder to anyone watching, I am on Oanda data. That's what I use. A lot of people use FXCM. It does not matter what you use. It's just that's my broker. So that's who I trade with. So anyway, I shorted the market here, literally right here, right before that candle. And we're talking on a 5-second chart. So I see this candle print in, it does come up to the top here and initiates away. I hung in, it's like my stop just didn't exist. And sure enough, I hung in and no problem. We initiate lower prices, right? And this is now where things get pretty damn cool, in my opinion, because this is my fucking years now of experience kicking in. Okay, so here we are. I'm in a trade. We're going short. I get to 8.6 R, 8.5 R, right? 8.5 R. And I look on my higher time frame and I see we're coming into this box right here. Price is initiating into this box right here. I know it's a buy primary, right? I expect a reaction. Personally, I'm not worried too much. I'm expecting my reaction from in here. So, and with such a strong initiation, I was willing to hold my trade instead of close out. Right? This would have been an amazing place to exit, right at the touch of the open, and it would have been hindsight, yeah, whatever. Would have been an amazing place to exit. Let me show you where I did exit because, like I said, I did take some profit on this one. So I'm waiting. I'm seeing price kick down and initiate down to this point here, and it wasn't until I see this formation, this buy primary kick in that I thought was going to turn into a sell primary and then initiate lower prices. So I was looking at this going, oh, this is a gorgeous looking trade setup. You know, if I was still wanting to trade this at these lower prices, this would have been a great place to click sell. Right? That's what I thought to myself in that moment. What was actually occurring, and sure enough, you could have taken a sell and you wouldn't have been wrong for taking that sell at all. You're never wrong for taking anything. It's all just how you understand things. So here's my sell now, and I'm looking on my buy side screen because I wanted to show you what happened here. Let's go down to 15 seconds to make it easier. I do apologize if I'm going a little too fast or furious on the old buttons here. Where is that trade? Okay, sorry, that's to 8. That's why it's confusing me. It's just to 8R. Oh, wrong way. 1.5. Okay. So here's the trade. I'm short, right? I'm short, I'm short, I'm short. We come down to here, and then they create this, the sell primary that turns into the buy primary that then initiates a way up and out of this transitional area, or the mauve area. I'm trying to think of a good name for it, but I haven't got one yet. And then it breaks structure. And so the moment it breaks structure up here, boom, and I see this setup and I go, oh fuck, because now I'm like, well, dag nabbit. Now I'm like, now I've got to do something different because we're initiating higher prices. We're not initiating lower prices, initiating higher. So it was about 5R, 5.6, somewhere around here. And it was right in this area. I think it was actually right there. And I go, take off half my position immediately. Yeah, I'm at 5R. Yeah, I've just seen it go down to 8.5R. And it, in that moment right then, when I clicked the button, it hurt a little bit. Not gonna lie, it hurt me a little bit. It goes, you got all these mental things running through your head. And I'm thinking to myself, holy fucking shit, I've just, I've closed half my position at 5R. I could have done that at 8R. I could have done it at the touch of the order block, the higher time frame order block, the buy primary, and I didn't. And so, as I see price initiating away and come up this high, at that moment, I'm thinking to myself, damn, like I'm literally break even, right? Obviously, my trade is break even at this point, and I see price come right to my stop. And what do you think I'm thinking then? Fucking good move, Gary. You took something off. You took something off. You know, I don't know if price is going to break through primaries. That would have been a good, in hindsight, it's everything, right? But in hindsight, I wish I'd have just taken an 8R. Just no stress, just for a no stress factor. Even if it goes on to 10, who cares? It's like 2R, right? It's like not a big deal. We'll do this over and over and over again. It's literally no big deal. And so that occurs, right? And I think to myself, and here's what gets me through it, right? And I hope this is helpful to you as well. I will re-enter. If you take me out, I will re-enter. You won't be able to get me. I'm talking to BFI. You will not be able to get me. I have such sufficient knowledge now of how the markets move and how they work that I can confidently get in and out of the market somewhere else. So you want to take me out? No fucking big deal. I will get in. I'll get in long. We'll go long together, and I'll take longs. And so here is that sort of potential for a short pattern. Didn't happen down here. Instead, we got that long pattern come in here, and sure enough, they did push price above my entry. I get taken out, break even. Yes, I took at 5R. I took half my position, which means about 2.5R, right? So 2.5R banked on this one trade. Woohoo! And then, excuse me, and then we get to seeing the final trade, right? Now I'm looking at everything as on the way down. I'm thinking to myself, well, where are you going to turn around, right? Let's say we are continued shorts because I believe it, right? I do believe that when you touch the open, it's just a stacking really, because we don't typically want to just mitigate the open of something. They'll put money there for a reason. And with everything we talked about, the deep mitigation, this whole big accruing of their position here, the initiations away, the very strong initiations away. And then I'm looking at everything going, well, where's this sell primary? And in here was the only sell primary on a 15-second, no doubt, right? Maybe it shows up on a minute. Maybe it shows up on a minute chart. But let's go look at it. It's not really drawn well, but range, initiation, there's structure over here on the left hand side of the screen. Let's pull it up. Was it this? This one? Yeah, it was this structure right here. Boom. So range, initiation, break of structure, comes back in, takes the liquidity from the high, initiates away, breaks himself, breaks out of the structure. This is an activated, unmitigated sell primary. And this is exactly where price comes back to. You can't make this shit up anymore. Like, we're seeing this happen so often now that this is how banks are doing things. They are sneaky. They do things sneaky, and we've figured out their patterns, right? We figured out where they break structure. And I don't think they're doing this just to get retail traders. I think this is how they move price. I think they've been doing, look at charts, look at a monthly chart. Look in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Look in the old era, right? And you'll see that they do this shit back then too. This isn't anything new. They've been doing this since the dawn of time. It's like it's how they move price. And so as we see this, you can see what I was thinking. Here's a sell primary. Took crappy liquidity, if I'm honest. Sorry, here's a buy primary. Buy primaries are in blue. Buy primary into a sell primary, and I'm looking for the sell primary to initiate on itself. There was this kind of gap in here, and this is exactly where I was waiting for price to come back to for me to get involved, right? Otherwise, I'm looking to enter, right? I'm thinking to myself, well, look, let's come back to here. So I'm thinking, this is what I want. This is what I'm thinking. This we've had a mitigation. This is the only sell primary. We're going short, right? So all I need now is a signal to go short. Here's where I want to trade off of. Okay, I'm looking for a retest of up here. Doesn't come just yet, and so I'm thinking to myself, we don't have to have it. It doesn't have to come. So let's see if we can do another buy primary into sell primary, buy primary into sell primary, right? Let's see if we can get it. So here's that buy primary, right? Taking out the liquidity from beneath here, buy primary turns into a sell primary, right? Taking up from up there and initiates away. The thing is, this buy primary only came down to equal lows, and I wrote it equal lows. It didn't take liquidity. It didn't take down here and then initiate up here and then down itself, leaving the gap here for us to trade off of. Oh no, it equal load, so I couldn't get in because I didn't understand it. I was like, what's going on? I don't understand it. Let's see him do it again. Buy primary forms, right to the equal lows, doesn't take liquidity. Sell primary forms, comes up above just slightly, breaks on itself, and again, equal lows. I can't get in on that. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what the hello operator is going on here? Let's let price figure itself out. I can get in later, right? This is what I'm telling myself. I can get in later. I'm still really interested in this. I'm still really interested in this, right? And forget this blue and this color here for one moment, right? Forget these two. Just think about this. I'm looking up here. So let's see price come up. Boom, price comes up. I'm literally fingers on, everything's on, ready to short. The moment it breaks down here or takes out a candle of sorts, I'm shorting. I'm shorting, especially if I see some sort of aggression. I want to play this for sure. And so price pushes through. I hold on to my money, and as it pushes through, in the moment, I go, hang about, they're doing something. And that's when I realize really, really fucking quickly, this took me about 2 seconds. And I see this and I go, okay, there's a buy primary. That took a bunch of liquidity, and it meets all the primary rules. What do I mean by that? Range, initiation, break of structure, stacks money below, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, wrong one. This is a boss top. There we go. Range initiation. Break the structure. That stacks money. As price comes back down, they take the money, right? The buy primary forms. It's now formed by breaking on itself, and we need it to break other major structure. I guess you could say that is, but realistically, I'd be looking for up here to break, for this to be activated. This, yeah, maybe, but not the best. Anyway, price doesn't break up there. Instead, it mitigates again, right? This sell primary that we're very interested in, and then it pulls down from within that gap. It was literally, so now we can get rid of this. It was literally this little slither here that I'm trading off of. That was it. That was it. I know it looks simple. I know my entry looks simple. The entry modal is only usable in a situation where you have, oh, how can I explain this? In a situation where you feel where your analysis has got you to a point where you understand what's happening and you believe it should be turning around, right? And as I see this turning around potential, look, we come up, the first thing we do is close down here. First 15-second candle, we get a close. And I'm not going to lie, as it bobs back up, I get a little nervous. I'm not thinking, because imagine what this candle looks like right here. This candle was a solid, on my charts, blue. Right here, solid blue. And I'm thinking, fuck, it's going to take my stop, whatever. I can get in again, that kind of thing. And then we start to get another one. Look, they push down and do it again. But what I want you to pay attention to, and this is very, very important, let's move this out of the way, is notice how it's all wicks in this area, right? Look as I change through the time frames. Just on a 1 minute, it's only wicks that will hold in this area. So we're seeing just wickle activity, wickular activity in this area, right? And so being able to read wickular activity on a 15-second is very important. Remember, an up candle like that closes at the top and then pulls down like that and closes at the bottom is what? A wick. That's what a wick is, right? And so to see that on a 15 seconds tells me that. So here's that sort of process I'm seeing. Here's that the body, and then it pulls back down. So there's my wick. And so I'm seeing this as wick. And so I'm short, right? I was short a while ago. I was short, I had to weather it for a few seconds here, good couple of minutes, I think it was, before it started initiating away. And then as they start initiating away kind of aggressively, right around here, I'm like, cool, if you want to come up, you can come up, but you can take me out. I'm not interested in I'm not interested in a retest, a mitigation, and do it all again. I'm just not like on this trade. I was like, no, you can have me at break even at this point. I've had enough of a movement where I feel comfortable and feel like this is where I'm not willing to risk anymore because look at the slither I've entered on. If you want to come back up here, mitigate, and then pull away, well, good for you. You can have me, kind of thing. I'll enter somewhere else. I'll enter on a sell primary on the way back down. Don't you worry about me, kind of thing. And so yeah, go be good decision really, because we don't even get really a retest, and then price just pulls away, keeps pulling away, and boom, we get out for a 10 hour within minutes really. 10 hour from what time was it? 9:27 to 9:39. So yeah, real fast trade there. And so, really, really proud of myself. Really fucking happy with everything we've just discussed today. Amazing short here, and an even better short here. But this was a better short here because of the slither, and this was a great reading and understanding of price action and what was actually happening. So and to see and to actually take out to get out up here, and take off half my position, I thought was pretty impressive as well, considering I could sort of see what was going on. Hindsight, yeah, maybe I should just take an 8R. Maybe I'll adopt that in the future. But you know how many times that I'll take that at 7, 8R or whatever, and they're just gonna blitz through. Oh no, I think my computer's just crashed. Has my computer just crashed? No. Beg your pardon, you guys. My mouse has just fucking died. Okay. Holy shit, that was funny. All right, let me charge my mouse and then let me get the plug in it, and we will conclude this video right there. All right. All right, there we go. Mouse is charged. All right. Good day, you guys. Have an awesome one. Hope all is well. I apologize about this video not being super polished or anything like that. I know I had some breaks and there might be some background noise and whatnot, so I do apologize about that. Hope you guys are smashing it, crushing it, making your best decisions in life, and having an absolute brilliant time trading and making a ton of R. Have a good one. Aloha, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.